This is an adaptation of the Nazi zombies mode from Call of Duty. Right?
What's not in that wall? What do you do with those people? They have been given a purpose.
Hello there everybody, it's me the Canadian Movie Buff with a review of Overlord. It's on the night before D-Day and follows a group of American GIs who drop into Nazi-occupied France to disable a radio tower. But they get more than what they bargained for when they stumble upon an underground secret laboratory full of the undead. Overlord is a movie that will definitely fly under a lot of people's radars. It doesn't have a lot of notable names, the premise is absolutely absurd for a mainstream movie, and also wasn't that promoted all that much. And although the screenwriters have backgrounds on scripts like The Revenant and The Hunger Games, they're not as recognizable as Aaron Sorkin or Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino. And what led to marketing this movie had, the name that they plastered all over the place was J.J. Abrams. And he was a producer. It also probably didn't help, although I don't know if many people knew this, but the director's last film grossed $1,400. With all these elements, it doesn't exactly scream box office mega hit. Going into this movie, I knew I was taking a huge gamble, but it turned out to be one of the best movies I've seen this year. With a concept like Nazi zombies, you often wonder how serious it's going to take its subject matter. In this case, it's pure B-movie galore and loses itself in some of the best moments, but also keeping a stake in the ground so that when it wants to come back on the rails, it has a place to go. With its loose attitude, it manages to stay in the dramatic and horror parts while also allowing some leeway into comedy. It manages to balance these polarizing tones by not letting itself be defined by just the one genre. You can enjoy it as a war movie, a zombie thriller, or even a dark comedy. One nice touch is the opening and closing credits, which are displayed in big, bold letters, 1940s, 50s style, with dramatic music. You know how I said earlier that there were no notable names? Not entirely true. First off, we have Wyatt Russell, who was the villain in Goon Lasting Forces, a movie that I don't know if many of you have seen. All I can say is, going from hockey grunt to World War II corporal is a step up in terms of acting. Going through the IMDb of this movie, it actually has quite the cast. We have Jovan Idapo from Fences. Peter Asbeck, who was Bateau in the Ghost in the Shell remake, is the Nazi commander. We also have Ian DeCasta, Fitz from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And finally, we have John Magaro, who's had supporting roles in movies such as The Finest Hours, Unbroken, War Machine, and The Big Short. All things considered, we got a pretty star-studded cast here. I liked how they had this sort of realistic, if not stereotypical portrayal of World War II soldiers. Russell plays the battle-hardened soldier who has that one traumatic event that will never be brought up in the movie. Adipo plays the new recruit who's never killed anyone or anything. Magaro plays the kid from Brooklyn who brags about how he's going to put a bullet right between Hitler's eyes, and Kestecker is the shutterbug who tries to document all of their exploits. It's just basically going down the list and checking off archetypes, but in a movie that's supposed to be this bat crazy, it surprisingly works. The violence has an interesting transitional period. It starts out like gritty and you want to look away, but then it goes so absurdly gory it's like, well, we're firing on all cylinders now. There's this kid character in the movie who, I swear his only purpose was to cause some inconvenience when the plot demanded it. It also didn't help that the movie had a minor case of trailer spoileritis. For those of you who don't know, this is what it is. Main takeaway, go into this movie blind and have a fun time. Overlord is an adrenaline shot that is absolutely maddening. It knows exactly the type of movie it wants to be and goes for it, no holds barred. The dramatic, comedic, and horror elements all combine together to create this mix of a movie that takes elements from all these different genres. The story and the characters were decently written, the acting was great, and the violence was amazingly campy. If you get the chance to see it, jump up and hit the ground running towards it. Overlord is a fun, scary, campy Nazi zombie flick that is definitely worth multiple viewings at the theater and or on Blu-ray. Alright, that's my review of Overlord. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Leave your answer by commenting down below, hit the like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new here, and as always, this is the Canadian Movie Buff saying I hope you have a fantastic weekend at the movies. See ya!